最後のスピーカーは、バロスさんです。バロスさんは、紙のコンサベーションとして、コンサベーターとして、インディペンダントで活躍されている方です。今日ご発表いただくのは、Case Study Japanese Books Restoration ということで発表いただきます。どうぞよろしくお願いします。
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much to stay. The last speech, last day, everybody should be very, very tired. So I try to be quickly and a little bit animated that we stay awake. I think some of you already know my studio because I presented it in 2021 in St. Petersburg. And that time I present myself, my background, and my studio. That one is in Belgium. Then last year, in the same conference of EAJRS in Belgium, some of you had the opportunity to come to see in Louvain-la-Neuve, where my studio is based. And you'll see the material that I work with, materials and maybe some techniques in Japanese tradition, where I was formed in Tokyo. So today I decided to present only one part of restoration. And what I call it case study Japanese book restoration. I brought the books here that I work, and everything that you see in the picture, then they are here. Then after the conference, you can come, after my speech, you can come to see and touch the books. My presentation will be, so maybe that, yeah. I try to be shorter, and please, if I'm so long and I speak so much, tell me, stop, it's enough. Don't worry to do that. So I will present my stat case. Some questions I made by EA, because the conference project is, so I said, oh, sorry. I said I should introduce it in my speech, but I'm working with materials. So I work with the books, not with technology. I am say this kind of technology. So I defined the problem that I will show you, and I presented the books that I work with and some different treatments and point out advantage and disadvantage of these treatments. And of course, some conclusions I made. My first question was to EA, could it help us restore paper restoration, books restoration? So it gave me 8 points, and it's listed there. I'm not repeat for you. So I just keep it the 7th one, recommendation system for restoration techniques. And this is what I need to know. And that time, the system, EA, pointed out the types of damage that you can find. We use could find. So digitalization, this is the solution, sorry. They point out different problems. Of course, when in restoration books, we restoration many parts of the books and many problems it have, because these books here, I just received, so I didn't anything at all. And sometimes I receive books like that to make restoration. So you can see they are really, really, really damaged. So I decided today it's just concentrated in insect damage. So it's holes and gaps it made in the box. Here I have great examples too, that they have holes there, and sometimes we can also lose parts of the books. So what I have to to fix everything together. So this is my problem. Insect-induced holes. And I thought that maybe I can experimentate it. I mean, try 6 different ways to treat it. So I listed that as digitalization, add fibers for the holes, add piece of papers just there. I will explain everything more slowly. Place sheet of paper between the page, because as you know, the page used in Japanese tradition books, it's folded, and line the papers, the page behind, so I will explain them, and add papers and sew everything together. So each one, it's shown there. So to make it easy also, I had 6 books, almost the same way. I think it's a kind of collection. Thank you very much, Ariane, to bring me these books. And to make it easy, I just say number 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, because the title is there. You can see, well, they are the books I work with. And not say every time the title and the, so briefly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. So for each book, I decide to make one kind of treatment. Of course, the books, the beginning of the treatment was the same. I make examination of the books, I clean them, I demonstrate them, and then I try to reinforce the holes, the insect holes. So you can see the first book, I will explain each one separated. The first book, so this, the first book was that one, and I decided to digitalize it. So it is here. So we digitalized it in the university where I work with and this is my colleague that do this work, because I'm not to work with this. And then we make every page and everything, and then I mounted it again. And you can see, and then I put in the bookcase, so you can see. So, of course, I make some observations of the problems. All the times, the technique could be good, but good, has the positive aspect and the negative aspect. So this one, I'm not made the whole list for all the books, because if not, I can speak here for 1 hour. So I try to put the more precisely things that was more important for me. So for the digitalization books, I say it's a long-term, it's really nice because it's a long-term conservation, but you cannot have access to the original one. This is a negative point. You can also, positive way, restore the digital image. In the case of they are really, really, really damaged, you can restore. There is programs that you can bring the color, the lines, and even the text. You can also add for our image. And also the accessibility to, it's more large because people everywhere can consultate that book. When they are kept in the library, only one few people can travel there and then see. So it is positive also. But in another way, it doesn't restore the books, repair the holes. So you can see here, that one. I still have part of the pages that get off. So I have to sure that I not lost this part. So EAJRS technology and the resource to do that. As I told you, I cannot do that. It's a colleague in the library that do that for me, because I don't know the programs to do that. And as I said before, it's also reduced the access of the original book. So this is the positive and negative aspect. So this one, it's Second technique that I used for, if someone between you came with me 2 days ago to the library, National Library, a paper conservator to show us the paper very damaged and the paper after restore. I don't know if you remember, was a piece of Japanese paper, so small. And I think she used the same technique that I use in this one. And the technique is, of course, I asked someone else because I don't have this machine. It's really expensive. And I asked another paper conservator to help me. And we demonstrated, clean the book, identify the problems, taste the ink, because this treatment uses so much water. So inks can go on. Don't you have to taste every ink, every color. And so you demonstrate it, you put in water that the paper relax, and then we put the pages in the machine, and you can see, I don't know if you can show like that, I don't know. It's an image in the above. We make fibers with water, and then you place all the pages in the machine. Is the second line image, and then you come with the fibers, and then you split, and the machine make the water away, and all the fibers get exactly in the holes. So it is number 2 here, you can see. And the positive and negative aspect of this is a specific way to fill the gaps, the holes. I can use different fibers. Of course, we try to find a compatible way, or the same fiber as the book papers. And it's almost invisible restoration. I mean, when you touch it, you'll not see so much difference. And the new fiber add and the other ones, the other fiber of paper. So the negative aspect is prolonged exposure to water, because they are really, really, really wet, the paper, the pages. Require specialized skill and machines and all this that is, even me, I cannot do that. And change the thickness of the books, because I mean, add the fibers. Normal, the fibers go only to the holes, but sometimes we find over the paper, the pages, so it's not enough, not good. And it's a time-consuming process and very expensive too. So, book 3, that one, I just add behind the pages, of course, clean, examined, taste, demounted, and then I had access of the back of the page. And at that time, I just add some pieces of Japanese paper. I mean, I glue, if I'm saying Japanese paper in the parts, they have more holes just to reinforce it. And then I mounted the book. So this technique, positive aspect, negative aspect, I mean, is to reinforce the gaps. Of course, yes, maybe you lost more than this, because I just put everything together. And that positive, it's not prolonged humidity. I not apport so much water. There is humidity, but they are not in a shower, if I can say, I mean, with so much water. And we use less materials. I add less materials to the page. And of course, you can use any paper, it's more compatible to the original one. But negative, I can create a tension of the other parts of the pages, because I just add glue in one part. So the other ones doesn't have. So then I can, so fibers don't like it, and then make some tension. When I add just pieces, I'm not make everything the same way. So it means that one part is more strong than another one. It's more thick than another one. So it's not good. Require specialized skill. Paper conservation do that, and brings humidity, not so much, but still have the paste, still have still put there with water. So the next book, the fourth book, it's a Japanese paper. I introduced some Japanese paper between the page, and you can see here. Oh, you have to see after to see. I just put the page there. The book was clean, taste, examined, clean, taste, and demontated, hemotated, and then I put paper inside. So this paper you can see here is not just there. It is a little smaller than the page, so you can take off if you want. So once again, positive and negative aspects. It's a quickly method, and if I show someone in the library to do that, then they can do itself. Don't need a specialized paper conservator to do that. No glue added. No change the original appearance. That you still can see the book that they have some gaps. So doesn't have lost the support because anyway, still have lost parts and things like that, and they not make parts. At least make danger, because if I'd like to take off the paper that I add, so I can take off parts of the pages also. I can miss part of the page, and his lose envelope, or let me say, lose part of the image page. So this is the 5 books, the 5 techniques that I use with the book 5. It's line Japanese paper behind the pages. Once more, taste, examined, taste, clean, and then demontated, and then I just add a paper, a Japanese paper behind. If I not see I'm doing this, so I glue it, I put glue in the new paper, and then I come back to make just position in the last in the back of the paper. So once they dry, they just cut you can see the figure 5, just cut the extra paper, because that time I use a paper bigger than the original pages of the book. Once more. Negatives and positive aspect. For positive aspect is that time I really make strong the original paper of the book, because everything is glued together. So it's really, really good. And preservation is the original appearance of the books, because I not include anything in front of the book. I will not make sandwich as the paper conservator of National Library show us 2 days ago. I mean, she put a paper over and the back. So she make a sandwich. Here not, I just put in the back. So the consequence of this negative is that change the thickness of the book, because you can imagine every page was add 1 new paper behind. So it's take almost one half thickness of the book more. Outer paper flexibility. If you touch, you can see people's paper came more more stronger. They are not flexible as it was before. So once more, you should to touch and see the difference where I'm talking about. That time you have to trust me. The other problems, big problem of this technique is that the material that you add, even they are very tasted before, recommended, can get all the different from the original pages of the book. So you have this consequence sometimes. I mean, we see that the paper with some years after they take off, because maybe the pace is not enough, maybe the pace not gets old in the same way, and problems can have after that. So they not get older well, cannot get older well. This is a kind of delicate techniques to do for the specialists, for paper conservator to do this. It's time consuming because I did every page of the book. And hacker, you can see the list, hacker, the specialist skill. So you arrive in the sixth book. This one, I just add as the fourth technique, a new paper, Japanese paper in the back of the page. But that time, different of the 31, I saw this new paper with the original paper of the book. So that time, this time, I cannot take off that paper I add to. It isn't impossible because everything is clear with the soul. Once more, positive aspect, negative aspect. Add the paper without glue, it's good. I'm not line as the five technique. No change the visual appearance. You cannot see the original one still, but has this kind of problem. You see? Oh, sorry, thank you. I forgot to change. Time consumed, yes, and also, yes, well, I don't know what I did, sorry. Time consumed, material used so much, so it could be expensive also, hacker specialist expertise, and change also the techniques of the books. Because once more, I add paper. And this time, the difference between this and the four is that one, this time, I just add one sheet of paper between every 2 pages. This time, I add one piece of paper, but was folded inside. So it's more thicker than that one. You can see. I don't know, but come after to see what I'm saying, please. So you arrive at the conclusion. We need to restore books. Yes, we need. Why? Because the books as the material that you can touch it, read it, manipulated it. So of course you have to restore. But if not, they become like that. And the problem is we can lose parts of the paper, parts of the books. It's not our interest as library. It's to that the objects continue to be read and manipulate and consultate and make a research and everything. Our work to do. So, this is good. When I restore a book, a piece of paper, a work on paper, I should always make the balance between the integrity of the object and also the preservation of it. So it's all the time question, all the time. The consequences, all the time to questions. So it's not, we don't have rest for the object. Every object, each object is one piece in one way to treat. This is why I decided to show you 6 different ways. Digitalization books, yes, it is one way to do that. It's good, but for us, paper conservation, I mean, it seems great, but we lost the material of the object. You lost the way to handle it, and I still have questions about this technique because, as I told you, it's nice. More people can read, more people can access of the context, the text, but we can read it years later. But how you can keep this image, how you can conserve it for longer? I just tell you quickly, I work in a library that we have books almost with 500 years. I still read it. I still opened it, consulted it. And what about the image that you digitalization? We will access to read it. We will access to keep it for longer. I mean, once more, only a small parenthesis. I make my doctorate studies thesis in CD-ROM. Who has already the lecture of CD-ROM in your own computer? We don't have anymore. So unfortunately, I print my thesis on paper. Unfortunately, I can read it. I'm not read anymore, I tell you, I promise you, but I can if I want. But CD-ROM is a kind of old stuff. So it's also, so I just put the questions for you to think about. If you keep this 300, 400, and still access to. So just conclusion, voilà. This kind of research is a research of my studio. Of course, when I work with the library and the collections, I'd like to know, I asked before I start, that they political way to treat their collection. They want to preserve it. I have to restore because they will be digitalized, because it is also, when you have digitalization books, before it's passing my room, I see if it's strong enough to be held with my colleague and to put the machine and close, open, and change the page, and they should be strong enough to do that. So it's still restored before digitalization is. Or sometimes the library and collection has a political to buy new ones. So well, it is what I want to show you and tell you, and I'll be here if you have questions too. And come to see the books. It's important to. Thank you very much.
バロスさん、どうもありがとうございました。皆さん前に来て、実際、皆さん前に来て本実際に触っていただいて結構ですので、あと5分あります。3分ありますので、ちゃちゃっと来て、ちゃちゃっと触ってください。よろしくお願いします。Sorry, it's not so much music.